Voting is a civic duty. Let's register on the electoral list. This is a message from Equinoxe television.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the news on Equinoxe television in the English language. Thank you so much for being with us. Our major stories tonight. Inhabitants of Bonaberi, especially those in Bojongo, now wake up almost every day with their feet in water. As the rainy season intensifies, the people say they have spent hundreds of thousands of francs CFA to resolve the problem of floods to no avail. Cedric Chakuto takes us to Bojongo in Bonaberi in this edition of the news. Plus, a teenager in Kongsamba in the littoral region has exposed her own biological father, whom she accuses has been harassing her sexually for some time now. Details of that story also in this edition of the news, and we will be taking you to Buea in the southwest region, where the locals today protested against frequent no water supply. Those are our major stories, viewers. Details when we come back. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for the confidence. We begin this edition of the news in Bonaberi. Here in Douala, it is the rainy season, and inhabitants of Bojongo now wake up almost every day with their feet in water. As the rainy season intensifies, the people say they have spent several hundreds of thousands of francs CFA to resolve the problem of inundation to no avail. Cedric Chakuto now takes us to Bojongo to tell us what he saw and heard.
On ne met pas de caniveau, c'est quel quartier, c'est quelle espèce de vie.
This is the cry of a woman who has been living with floods for some time now.
It is very challenging for us. For several years now, water keeps getting to our house.
Just like Madame Gwingwa, inhabitants of Boston, the neighborhood of Bonjongo, Bonaberi in the Douala 4 subdivision, are complaining of the water which causes the destruction of their homes.
Mais on est obligé d'entrer dans l'eau pour se retrouver sur la grande route, que ce soit le jour ou la nuit, on n'a pas de choix. Moi j'ai mis 22 camions de terre ici en 93 quand je suis arrivé. Ici ils ont mis aussi, mais on ne sait pas, on ne s'en sort pas.
I have spent 100,000 francs on fuel for my water pump since the beginning of the rainy season this year.
The frustration of the inhabitants started after the destruction of the outlet, which was to help evacuate the water. The outlet, according to them, was demolished after the reconstruction of the road, which was to be delivered in 2020.
Parce qu'on faisait l'investissement humain ici, on est venu voir si c'est le problème. C'est là où on s'est rendu compte qu'il y avait plusieurs bus ici qui ont été écrasés par le poclin.
Lack of drainage. When rains come, there's water everywhere. There's water in the streets. There's water in people's houses. So much that some people cannot even habitate Bojongo. Sometimes even travel and go out of Bojongo is a problem. We have these bike boys. They throw people in gutters. Mothers, pregnant women cannot go to the hospitals because of the water on the road. Sometimes even people fall while they are going to work.
C'est un quartier maudit, avec tout ça. Les villes, on ne fait que remplir les routes tous les jours sans caniveau. Comment vous ne voulez pas que la maison ne devienne papa?
The solution to this problem, they say, is the construction of a drainage system.
Il faut les drains qui doivent joindre les deux bras morts du Vouri, à gauche et à droite, vers le lycée de Bonaberi, le lycée bilingue de Bonaberi et vers le marché des bœufs.
Having forwarded their complaint to the Douala 4 Council, they were told that the destruction of the outlet does not depend on them, that depend on Satom, the company in charge of the rehabilitation works on the roads.
It's been 2 months since my daughter died. Every day, we visit the council due to this problem.
Nous sommes allés à Satom. Satom nous a dit qu'on n'avait pas les preuves parce qu'il fallait suivre l'équipe qui travaille sur place, filmer l'engin qui était en train de creuser le trou, avoir même le nom du superviseur.
Even to take a bike, that's happy. When you are going out, you are clean. Before you reach where you are going, you are already dirty. Maybe you don't even continue where you are going to. You go back to the house because when you enter inside the water, look at how the road is. Very bad. When the bike enters there, If you don't take care, you'll fall inside.
Added to the challenges they face in their homes is the bad state of roads, which blocks them from moving in and out of the area. The inhabitants are peacefully waiting for concrete solutions.
And over to Buea in the southwest region, some local inhabitants today staged a protest demonstration against poor water supply. The divisional officer for Buea has asked the mayor of the Buea municipality, Barrister David Mafani Namanges, quickly resolve the water management crisis at Sopowo Villa village. Abba Abdurrahman made a call as he received the disgruntled natives of Sopowo Villa who staged a protest to his office today. Smart Jikan Gabriel has the details.
Marching with placards that read, "Our pipeline is our right. Cameroon is a state of law. DO, effect the law. Stop destroying our pipes in small support. Water is life. No one else can control our lives more than ourselves. We must control our water," and a host of others. Inhabitants of Stranger Quarter in Sopowo Villa came out to ask the divisional officer to intervene in the water management crisis of their vicinity.
We have had water crisis for quite some time, and the DO of Buea came to settle the problem. Came and listened to all the part correctly and said we're going to set up a water catchment committee. He now asked the second assistant mayor of Buea municipality to lead a delegation to come and set up the committee.
Unfortunately, the commission set up by the envoy of the divisional officer, the deputy mayor of Buea, Edward Mosoko, did not tie with the needs of the people.
But we were surprised that when he came to set up the committee, it was not an inclusive committee. Only the natives were given position in the water. Meanwhile, the water was not constructed by the natives.
The water catchment that has become a major problem was once destroyed, allegedly by the natives.
On the 31st of December 2006, in the night of 31st, the natives came and destroyed the water. And their parents recognized the fact that they destroyed the water. They did nothing about that. The Support All Boys and Girls Association came and reconstructed all the water and gave to the people, and have been managing the water since then.
In a crisis meeting chaired by the divisional officer of Buea, Abba Abdurrahman, in the presence of the mayor of Buea, the disgruntled people of Stranger Quarters were assured of a solution in the nearest future.
We have seen that it's just a matter of wrong perception of some people in the community against others, but as brothers and sisters who have agreed and who have spoken with them, a decision has been reached that next week we'll be handling it to have an enlarged water management community, because the resource of water is for every person.
The appointment has been taken for next week to get a solution to the problem of the people of Sopowo Villa.
To this other sad story in Kongsamba in the Mombo division of the Littoral region, a 46-year-old man is being investigated upon by security forces. It is alleged he has been sexually harassing his biological 16-year-old daughter, and the act was revealed by the daughter herself. Lucy Liengo is here with the details.
The inhabitants of Kongsamba in the Mombo division are still in shock. For 4 months, 46-year-old Nchwamo Olivier, a resident of the deep neighborhood, according to the population, has been having a sexual activity with his 16-year-old daughter. We are still to understand why a man will give birth to his child yet decides to have a sexual affair with her. The people say on several occasions the young girl complained to her mother, who turned a deaf ear, until her daughter showed her use contraceptives. Shocked and frustrated, Ntongmeni's mother decided to inform the security forces, who descended on the scene. The chief of a deep quarter has condemned the act, saying it is abominable. He wishes that justice takes its course. Meantime, investigations have been launched.
Sad indeed. In other news, the divisional officer of Mombo has asked snail hunters to stop carrying out their activities in people's farms without negotiating with them in that village. The call from Momo Betran came as he received complaints about the increase in the rate of stealing of farm products in Mombo Beach and Njongurai during his meet the People's Store. Smart Jikan Gabriel reports.
majority of the people in Mombo Beach and Jungurai are farmers, and as a result, they expect to reap from their sweat. Unfortunately, they have accused snail hunters to be stealing from their farms. As a result, the divisional officer of Mombo calls the shot. It has been revealed that they are big thieves since they do their activities in the night. They profit to steal cocoa beans, plantains, and other food crops planted. It's because of that we have stopped these people who go for snail hunting at night. It was in the first phase of the Meet the People tour that the divisional officer of Mombo, Bertrand Momo, made the declarations in order to curb the rate of stealing from farms. It's the behavior of these snail hunters that forced us to say that everyone should remain in his or her space to search for snails, or if you want to go into another person's space, you negotiate with the person. In the course of the contact tour, problems of lack of social amenities were raised by the people of Mombo Beach and Jungurai.
Our expectation was to look at the problem of electricity, water, roads, try to see how the government can help us via our divisional officer to sort out all this.
The people are now hoping that the outing of the divisional officer will reduce the rate at which they lost their farm produce.
Now we take you to the west region of the country. Seemingly peace now reigns between the Catholic Church and some chiefs of the west region after a week of conflicts between the two parties. The camps were reconciled. That was yesterday by the governor of the west region, Awa Fonka Augustine, during a reconciliation meeting which he convened and also chaired. Innocent Aze tells us more.
The open conflict that began last week with some traditional rulers of the West region and priests of the Bafoussam diocese throwing spears at each other through communiques on social media has tilted towards the path of reconciliation and peace. Both parties met face-to-face, looking into the eyes of each other in a reconciliation meeting chaired by the governor of the West region, Awa Fonka Augustine.
We're coming out of this meeting very satisfied. It was geared towards putting the two parties together. That is the diocese, Catholic Diocese of Bafoussam, and some traditional rulers of the West region.
In the meeting, both parties defended their interests, with neither of them admitting to be wrong. This, however, did not serve as a hindrance for reconciliation and peace to reign.
Each party had the occasion of expressing its grievances vis-à-vis the other, and I think at the end of it we came out very satisfied. I think henceforth there will be harmony, and the misunderstanding between the two institutions have been brought to rest.
According to the chief executive officer of the region, the traditional leaders and the Catholic Church now know their different corridors and will run their activities separately without interference of the other. Some traditional leaders confirmed after the meeting. Each party knows their limits, and if respected, peace will continue to reign. Serenity has returned, and that is what we will witness on the field in the coming days. They come together, and the different reactions constitute assurance that the fight has ended between the chiefs, signatories of a bitter open letter addressed to the Bishop of Bafoussam and the Catholic Church in the West region over a remark of the Bishop to the chiefs never appreciated.
We stay with you, Innocent Ase. You tell us that the former Bar Council President, Barrister Keremuna, has frowned at the persistence of corrupt practices by Cameroonian authorities to the detriment of the local population, while raising some burning issues like the increase in the cost of procuring a national identity card in Cameroon, the non-convocation of the Higher Judicial Council amid others. In a press conference in Yaoundé, Barrister Keremuna, the legal mind, expressed regret over poor governance, which according to him is somehow destroying the nation.
Speaking to the press and some civil society leaders in Yaoundé, Barrister Akere Muna frowns over a certain number of issues plaguing Cameroon. The recent hike in the cost of procuring an ID card by Cameroonians drives him crazy.
You are easily at 20,000 CFA. Because you are poor, you cannot get an ID card. Worse still, the non-possession of an ID card is an offense. So because you are poor, you are a potential criminal. That's not right.
A regrettable development to the corruption denouncer who discloses how top authorities fatten themselves from the sweat of suffering Cameroonians.
And anybody talks to me, I defy them to tell me one thing that the government has done that you can say it is in the interest of the people. You can't build a society that punishes those who don't have when their absence of having anything is because you have stolen.
The non-convocation of the Higher Judicial Council for the past 4 years was another irritating issue he raised.
We have 4 badges of magistrates who have not been sworn in. They are outside. These people went to school. They have families. So if you actually sworn in the first batch of Enam, you can easily find yourself waiting for a decree with somebody who was like 2 years behind you, or even your younger brother. And then they come out with a communique saying that the president has authorized the holding of the High Council.
To him, all the communiques signed with claims to be instructions from the head of state are questionable.
The head of state doesn't take a decision. The thing is that the experts who draft these laws and control us, they will put the head of state in every single document. The people who make the laws are those who pretend as if it is the head of state.
His justification is that
I think we in this country should be honest to ourselves. To claim that somebody who is 92 years old can manage the complexity of our country with problems, all that need to address on a daily basis. To really claim that our best shot is somebody who is 92. It's unfair. The Americans are complaining about somebody who is 81 years old.
To Barrister Akere Muna, not only passengers are going down the sea floor with the sinking ship, the captain as well.
We have gotten to a point where he himself is a victim, unfortunately, of a system he put in place.
And now we talk something else. Maritime transport stakeholders are urging the Cameroon government to ratify the Maritime Labour Convention to improve on the precarious working conditions of seafarers. They are discussing the difficult working conditions of the employees of the maritime transport sector in a seminar taking place in Douala. Babila Jonathan has the details.
Seafarers are practically indispensable key workers. They are the ones transporting essential goods, food, fuel, medicine and equipment. They are the ones moving global trade. Yet many seafarers are stranded on board their ships with many challenges exposing them to all kinds of afflictions. This threatened their health, lives and the safety of the vessels they serve on. Seafarers in Cameroon face many challenges in their daily duties, thus the need to address the challenges via the 2006 Maritime Labour Convention.
This convention is ILO convention that is bringing solution to the long list of issues that are facing seafarers in the sector, and also to bring a solution on the competition that is not fair, to end the unfair competition that countries that have ratified the MLC are facing.
Meeting in Douala, stakeholders from the Maritime Administration, government institutions, employees, seafarers representatives, non-governmental organizations and other organizations connected to the maritime transport sector are working out the pathway to enhance the implementation of the convention.
We hope that in the coming days, in the coming months, the Cameroon government will ratify this convention to end the difficulties and the suffering that seafarers are facing in this sector in Cameroon, and also to level the play field for the ship owners that are working in Cameroon.
Considering the importance of seafarers in the movement of goods within and out of Cameroon's borders, the government has therefore been urged to ratify the strategic document as soon as possible.
And now this note just greeting us a while ago, the Minister of Transport has extended the suspension of Trésor Voyage Inter-Urban Transport Company by 7 days. On the 5th of July 2024, the company was suspended for 7 days following the deadly accident that killed 5 people on the Sancho Chang Road in the West region. That was on July 1. The company agreed to take measures to curb such road accidents, but instead of doing that, it went on with its activities using buses of another transport company, Princess Voyage. Because of this, the suspension of Trésor Voyage has been extended by 7 days, and Princess Voyage too has also been suspended for 7 days. We will sure be coming back to certain details in our subsequent news editions. Now, out of Cameroon, President William Ruto of Kenya has dismissed almost all of his cabinet ministers and promised to form a new government in Kenya. Our foreign page roundup with Cedric Chakutio.
Kenyan President William Ruto on Thursday dismissed almost all of his cabinet ministers and promised to form a new government that will be lean and efficient following weeks of protests over high taxes and poor governance. The president also dismissed the Attorney General and said ministries will be run by their permanent secretaries. Ruto said he made the decision after listening to the people and that he will form a broad-based government after consultations. Ruto said the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi will remain in office. Elsewhere, authorities in Niger have declared a curfew in the volatile Tilaberi region after several prisoners escaped from a heavily fortified jail known to hold jihadists. The incident occurred on Thursday at Kutukale prison, located about 50 kilometers northwest of the capital Niamey. 2 other attempted jailbreaks at the facility in 2016 and 2019 were repealed. Niger's armed forces are stretched by jihadist attacks in the west and protecting the junta, which took power in last year's coup. The ministry did not specify in its statement how many prisoners managed to escape in the latest jailbreak.
And that does it for the first part of the news, viewers. Let's now move on to talking points. Welcome back, viewers. Tonight we are talking on cybersecurity, how to secure data and also messages in our phones and computers. And our guest tonight is Professor Fuetsa Emmanuel. He is a professor at the University of Bamenda. Professor, thank you so much for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point tonight. You are one of the researchers in cryptology, which is the securing of our cyberspace and also data in our phones and computers at the 15th International Conference on Cryptology. It ended today in Douala. It's happening in Africa or Cameroon for the very first time. Now, to begin with, can you explain to us what cryptology is all about?
Cryptology is a science divided into 2 topics, basically. Cryptography and then cryptanalysis. Cryptography deals with designing algorithms to secure communications, while cryptanalysis deals with the analysis of the weaknesses of those algorithms. For example, when we say designing algorithm for secure communications, it's like your phone, you want to send an information to another phone, and then the information has to be confidential. So how do you ensure that a message moving from your phone to another phone and passing through the open internet, which is subject to attacks, is going to be known only by you and the receiver? So cryptography is there to write algorithms to ensure that your message is protected, encrypted, so that even if somebody catches the information, he will not be able to know the meaning of the message. And secondly, we have authentication of messages. When your phone receives a message, how can you be sure that the message is coming from the right person or from the person who is intended to say he has sent you the message? So cryptography is also there to ensure that that's the case. Integrity, when you receive a message from somebody, how can you know that the message has not been altered? How can you know that the message has not been modified? So we call that security service the integrity of message. So it is ensured thanks to cryptographic algorithm and mostly digital signatures. And also when you receive a message from somebody, it's good that later on the person should not deny it that he sent a message to you. So it should be able to trace an information to an entity. Those security services are ensured by cryptography. And then on the other side, as I said, cryptanalysis will now study the existing algorithm to see their strengths, or if they have some weaknesses, they should be fixed.
Okay. Professor Fwetsa, we have noticed that stakeholders are bent on ensuring that cryptography or cryptology becomes an academic discipline. Taught in schools, you already have a school of cryptology at the University of Bamenda. What was the necessity of that?
Well, I think it's a new topic, but the challenges are around us. People are facing difficulties. We are not designing a program just to teach people. So people are being attacked digitally, of course. Organizations are crying every day. Companies in Cameroon, administrations, every day you see on social media, even the report from governmental or institutions reporting cases of cyber attacks. So there is need. The program actually is located at the University of Bamenda in the Center for Cybersecurity and Mathematical Cryptology, and it consists of three programs: the PhD programs in cybersecurity and mathematical cryptology, and the academic master in cybersecurity and cryptology with subspecialties to satisfy, to meet some needs that we have in the fields. For example, we have the specialty applied cryptology and cybersecurity, the specialty embedded system security and cryptology, and a specialty algebra, coding theory, and cryptology. Those are the academic specialties, and on top we have a professional master in cybersecurity dedicated to the training of people who will directly help organizations and companies, administration to secure their communication, their information systems.
And now, Prof, can you further explain to us how the program is organized at the University of Bamenda, the only institution which has those courses for now?
Well, that's so nice. In the context of global digitalization in the world, the development of internet and the use of information and communication technology. You know, in Cameroon, the level of the use of internet and the use of information and communication technology is already very high. And therefore, it exposes our country to cyber attacks and then to cyber attacks. So there is a dire need to have experts, people who are well trained to tackle those security problems. That is, to help administrations, to help companies to secure their information systems. So they can only be trained in classroom. They can only be trained in universities. So as a lecturer in the University of Bamenda, we thought wise to set up such a program in the University of Bamenda.
Okay, how is the program organized? Now, Professor Fwetsa Emmanuel, when people hear of cryptology or cryptography, they somehow think of cryptocurrency. Is there any relationship? Can you clearly let our viewers know if there is any difference or relationship between those two ideas or concepts?
Yes, the two concepts are linked, cryptocurrency and cryptology. Cryptocurrency is what? It's a sort of digital currency. That is, you buy something, or it's a money you have, but you don't have money as we used to have money. It means that there is no central authority to regulate like we have banks and so on. No. And transactions with cryptocurrencies are secure thanks to cryptographic algorithms. So cryptography design encryption algorithm that cryptocurrency technology will use for.
Thank you so much, Prof, for those explanations, and hope to have you some other time.
Very much for these questions, so that we highlight the opinions and to encourage the administrations, the government, the companies that we really have to engage in a research in cryptology to make sure that we are really independent than to be just users of cryptographic algorithms, because it's a matter of sovereignty. Thank you.
And safe journey back to Bamenda. Viewers, thank you so much for always being with us. Our programs continue. Don't go away. Equinoxe comes up in about 30 minutes. That would be at 7 p.m. with Sesha Lengutu. And then news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. with Irish Ngono Mala. Stay with us on Equinoxe Television. Bye-bye for now and have a blessed weekend.